now, we can't wait to welcome our next speaker, Dr. Ruby Bakshi Khurdi. She's a lecturer at Hotel Institute Montreux, which is one of our sister schools, as I have mentioned before. She's the chairperson of the Ladies Leagues, as well as an exceptional woman of excellence after winning this award at the Women Economic Forum in Lisbon, amongst her other accomplishments. She'll be talking about the role and the impact of women in the hospitality industry. Hello, Dr. Khurdi. How is Montreux?
Hello, everyone. Yes, Montreux is great. We are having a bit of slushy snow, but otherwise it's wonderful here.
Very good.
So I hand it over to you now.
All right. Thank you so much. I have been enjoying listening to the other speakers. It's been really nice and enriching sitting in the vicinity of and comfort of your place and having so much rich and wonderful content, enjoying as well as taking as much as we can, especially in this weather when you can't really go out, but you can take so much rich information sitting in front of your computers. So thank you so much, World of Hospitality, first of all, to invite me on this platform and giving me an opportunity to listen to the people as well as speak on my behalf about the women in hospitality. So yes, I'm really happy that whenever there is anything related with women or whenever there's any mention of empowering women, it just makes me passionate. It just makes me jump to the bandwagon and let my voice out so that it's heard and understood what women especially feel when they are told to be doing things which sometimes are just for men, or when they are given the platform to move forward and speak about certain things which were initially more male dominated. So yes, I would prefer to keep it more like, sharing my own experience, what I feel, what I have been doing. And wherever I think, I would really appreciate if people can also participate, not make it like a boring lecture. But, if you have similar experiences, you can just use the chat window and write. And if there are certain things which you would like to illustrate, please make use of the chat window. I would love to hear from and elaborate on those. So yes, as I was saying, hospitality is one industry which is very demanding. The industry requires that every person has to have that passion that yes, we can do it. It's not like a regular 9 to 5 corporate job. It's a job which you have to feel from within that yes, I am into it, I love it, and that's why I'm a part of hospitality, which I haven't studied hospitality, but I became part of hospitality, I would say, just by chance. And believe me, since the time I have been a part of hospitality, I am learning every day, every single day, I would say. There's not been a day when I felt that, okay, I know this very well. Second, I surprised myself by understanding and seeing something which was completely unexplored in the past. So yes, as I said, hospitality is one demanding industry that requires a lot of passion and motivation at each level of the organization, whether you are at the beginning level, when our students go for internships, or when you are in middle management or even top management level. Every level requires people to give their best, but also leaders that support, guide, and nurture its employees, because it's not about me, I, myself. It is about us as a team. And when I use these three words, which is support, guide, and nurture, these are very commonly associated with women and their style of management. Because women, wherever they are, whichever field I would say they always make sure that they are supporting others and nurturing. By nature, women have that nurturing, I would say, quality in them. In the hospitality industry, that's one of the reasons it's time that we now need to recognize how our women or how our female professionals are faring in a field which has been long dominated by men. The good news is that there is a lot of progress. Believe me, there is a lot of progress that's coming up. Women are doing much, much better than ever, especially in service industry. Generally, women tend to do better in senior roles in hospitality. I would say it's quite debatable. Our men folks might say no, it's not so. But it has been seen that because of their calmness, because of their not reaction or reacting instantly, they are able to perform better as they grow higher in the hierarchy. And this could be, I would say, due to their interpersonal skills, their patience, their determination of proving themselves from now and on. Like, every time, every now and then, women need to prove themselves because of the glass ceiling that we have. Not every woman has that comfort or has that luck that she just comes and gets on the top. So I guess because of the determination and less aggressive behavior. By nature, women are less aggressive. It's like if you let them do their things how they want to do. But of course, if you test their patience or if you keep on poking them, then the reaction could be something different. And also the capacity to recognize from their mistakes, because I think very few women have that ego issues. If they feel that they have made a mistake, if they feel that they are not doing the way they should do, they tend to understand what mistakes that they did, apologize, and move further. They don't get stuck to something that I made this mistake, or I should not step down, or I should not say that it was a problem, and things like that. Furthermore, women are more accommodating by nature. And that's also one of the reasons that they are always in a process to learn something new every single day. They tend to listen to their co-workers, respect other points of view, like whatever other peers or other co-workers have to say or talk about, and always are in a process to find solutions to problems, whether it's their staff, like immediate staff, or someone from other department also, if they are asking them, if they are kind of stuck or they don't know what to do. So women don't have those issues that they are in their circle only. They sometimes are in the extended circles as well. They are more encouraging, and they are always cooperative in terms of wherever and whenever they can delegate, and tend to be made more patient than the male counterparts. This has been a viewpoint strongly, which I would say has been set forward by Nadia Bernard, principal of Rosenbank, Johannesburg. And she felt that it's always this particular quality of women, that they are more encouraging and ready to delegate, that pushes them further. But still there are challenges. Even if everything is great, everything is wonderful, there's always a time that people tend to have certain challenges somewhere or the other. They're coming on. You can't, very rightly said Fila, there is no hospitality without women. I am with you, completely with you. And also because of the nature, as I said, there are challenges. It's not something that is completely without challenges. And one of the biggest challenge which our hospitality leaders are facing today is to motivate the employees, is to fulfill and identify the highest potential we have in the people. Because what is happening is, maybe probably because of current COVID situation, there is so much unrest, so much confusion, so much uncertainty in the atmosphere, that people are not clear where they are going. So it's one of the biggest needs to motivate them, to give them the right kind of push. And of course, when we say right kind of push, it is important more because leaders often tend to guide their employees and make their own decisions. And this is only possible when they give them the right kind of platform and constantly put them in those kind of situations. And another thing which is very important, especially now, is uh, failure, because things are not going as planned, and something is popping up from any direction which was not planned, or it was not in our to-do list, or it was not in our programmed decision that if this happens we will do this. When something comes up from any corner, people have to be prepared. And it's a special quality of women, especially because they are managing home. If they have a family, then they have children. If you are a woman who has children as well, so then they have to do the balancing act, which we women, I would say, are very, very careful and trained to do. It's by default. Women are like that. They don't need any special training to do it. The other thing which is very important or which needs attention is failure of leadership. If a specific person has not been able to keep the expectations, or if he or she is not able to fulfill those requirements, they get stuck. Some people, they just get stuck. Oh, I'm a failure, I couldn't do it. And that's one thing where one person fails, it's always the women folks with their networking groups, they try to push each other. Men, if they fail, they take it to heart for a long period of time. They feel it's like, I failed as a man. That macho thing comes into action. Whereas women, since they're always in a process of proving themselves, they're always in a process of trying to break the glass ceiling at all points of time. So they are not afraid. They keep on pushing their limits at all times. Additionally, the industry is also facing several challenges, which is the need of customization. Such challenges are the reason why employees often adapt their behavior in order to provide the best possible service in that particular industry. I would like to quote former CEO of PepsiCo, Mrs. Indra Nooyi. She shared an advice when stepping down as a CEO from PepsiCo. um, and she was very clear when she was stepping down. No one would have thought that she would step down from such a flourishing career that was really booming up. But she said, I've been blessed with an amazing career. But if I'm being honest, there have been some moments when I really missed being with my family, being with my children. So her advice is make the best of those days. Whenever you are with your loved ones, try to be there and make the best so that you can cherish that moment in the long run. Today, there is much more visibility about the need of transparent conversations about gender equality and women in leadership positions, serving as inspiring role models. And what can be accomplished? It's still like it's like a big question mark. We keep on having those question marks, and we keep on going step further. By that same token, there is a sense that women have achieved what we set out to do. It's like our to do list keeps on multiplying. We have 5 things to do. Once all the ticks are there, we keep on pushing ourselves to the extreme to go further, which is more in women, especially because they have to push their limits in such a way that I want to go that far, I want to reach that far. And while we have come so far, we still have a long way to go. That's what women have, and they always keep on saying. Having said that, I very clearly remember when I was back in college, when we had to make a choice what career we want to take in the future. I remember some of my friends, they wanted to choose hospitality. They wanted to study business in hospitality. And I was shocked because those of my friends, they were very good cooks. They knew basic cooking, but they really wanted to make that as their career. But can you believe they were discouraged by their own parents and some people in the society, like their aunt, uncles, people who were close to them. They were discouraged by saying, why do you need to spend money on something like that? It is anything, anyways, you will know, you will learn it. Once you get married, once you have children, once you have your family, you will anyways know how to cook, how to do those things. Why are you spending your parents' money on something like that? Hotel is not a place for women to work. Leave it for men. Leave it something that is just for men. You can stay in the house or you can take up some other career. There's a lot of exploitation, irregular work hours, shift system, salary discrimination. There are a lot of things. These things are often raised and told to discourage women from taking careers in hospitality. And they were also told, I remember this is like so clear in my mind right now, that instead, why don't you study something safer, something that is more close to heart, like a teacher or a nurse? It's a noble profession, and at the same time, you are in a much safer environment. Imagine saying that. I was very shocked when I heard this. I felt it's not something that should have been told to a girl, 18-year-old girl, when she is choosing or when she's wanting to step up and take a career in hospitality. But yes, it did happen with them, and they were very, very discouraged. But then there are success stories of women in hospitality also that demonstrate that female leadership exists. Yes, female leadership exists at all levels, but this is just that you need to look deep and further. The management style and culture by providing a more accommodating and nurturing environment. Female leaders score higher, much, much higher on transformational leadership aspects as they would share or as they would in a corporate leadership. But in the global economy at large, they are always having that, like a patient listening, a heart, empathy, which is very much required in the industry right now. One has to be empathetic, one has to be having that caring attitude that she steps down or she steps forward to hold other person's hand and ask, what is it? How can I help you? They tend to listen, and they have that I would say they have that patient hearing at all times, doesn't matter which level they are. And it has been seen that female general managers inculcate the value of cooperation and teamwork. They often delegate and try to understand others' viewpoint before stepping out or before sharing their own ideas. Additionally, it has been seen women, especially in hospitality, demonstrate high performance on organizational work and problem solving. They're also good at financial management as well as general management of the building or general management of the property. And when we say that, I would again like to quote, according to 2020 Women in Hospitality Industry Leadership Report from American Hotel of Lodging Foundation, it said women have taken more leadership roles. 7 women were promoted to CEO in 2018-2019, a 20% increase from the previous report. And yes, it is still going. It is still going. So academically, it has been seen that we are having those reports, or we are having those, I would say, figures which are going up. Let me see. Yes, very true, very true. I can see it's a very cultural thing. I can see the change happened after seeing employees. Very true, Fatima, very true. It is happening. The change is happening all over. But in some countries, it's very fast. You can see that women are like, parents are changing. But in some countries, it's still slow. It's still not there as it is in Europe or in other developed countries. And Zandil is asking, is seen as a non-challenging career than those of weak academically? Yes, very true, very true. These are some of the things which needs to be changed. It's just a mindset. Again, it's a mindset which needs to change. Even though figures are going higher, percentage is going higher, but still there are talks where people think if you can't achieve this, or if you couldn't be a successful in medicine or engineering or something which is more challenging, okay, at least you have hospitality. Sometimes it's a mindset that needs to be changed. We can't put a career, any career, down or up against other ones. Then also, according to Pilar Arizmendi, she is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Palladium Hotel Group. She says women now have the opportunity to become leaders in a historically male-dominated industry. And companies are putting much more emphasis on gaining and retain female talent for leadership positions. It's like, everywhere, like if you see, whenever a woman is coming up at a leadership role or a top CEO level, it's always published in the news. It always comes first CEO, first general manager. Why are we making this so big? It has been there. It's not that women need to have that push, but the thing is, we are making it more loud and clear, because in the past, they were refused these positions by saying that she's a weaker sex. She may not be able to take extra burden. She'll not be able to do extra things which other male counterparts can do easily. There are certainly more opportunities in the 21st century, which we are seeing now, than it was in the past. And many more women have made their mark in the industry, in the globe, I would say, as hotel owners or taking care of their parents' businesses, which was more for boys initially, but now is moving for girls as well, for the daughters as well, and also getting more senior executive levels. And I remember now more and more in terms of diversity, if you see, it is really happening that having more women in leadership positions is giving them a more, different look. Because when a woman joins a business, or when they are in the premises, they start thinking of it as their home. They start thinking of it as their property, what they can do to make it better. Like, all the employees, suddenly they become like a family, which sometimes you don't see in men so much. With women, it's like very common, because they have that like maternalistic, I would say, instinct, that they start thinking of everyone as a part of the family. Again, quoting Arizmendi, she agreed that while progress has been impressive, but still there's lots and lots of things to do, especially in an industry which is led more by men. A major challenge is leveling up and playing the field and showing representation of equality across the board. So let's say in some hotels, when there is cutthroat competition between a male and female colleague who are going to be promoted as the GM, it has been seen most of the times, even if both are equally qualified, both come from the similar background, everything is the same, but still it has been seen that there is always that extra push given to men, which is changing now. In the past, it was given to men more, but now it is changing. Since few years, we have seen the shift coming more towards women, which is great. Which is great because it's always seen when you bring about a change, even though people don't like change, but when the change happens and people start getting used to, because they see the difference, they see the impact it is creating, then they're quite okay and they start accepting it. And it's always important, wherever you see such kind of things, it's always important to lead by examples. I always tell to my students, even here, I always tell to my students that it's important to see what is working well in a situation and try to grab it and try to work on it. I mean, my I would say journey in hospitality started when I joined Hotel Institute Montreux in 2007. I was here teaching human resources management. So even though I was teaching a business course, but I was seeing other things from hospitality point of view. I was seeing other things from how is it to run a company, how is it to run a hotel. And the more and more I was reading examples from hotel industry, the more and more I started becoming much aware of, wow, it is a different perspective altogether. It's not like a regular 9 to 5 job. It's much, much more. And to conclude my session, I would really want, to if you can pose questions related, I would be very, very happy, because I prefer, it's always nice when we have an interaction rather sharing of information or PowerPoint slides, because these days we have already been doing a lot of it. So to conclude my session, I would like to quote Stephanie Linnartz, who is the Global Chief Commercial Officer at Marriott International. And she says, being a strong and effective leader can be challenging at times. We all know that. But it is also incredibly rewarding. We are all challenged with insecurities of different kinds. No human is immune from the feeling, but it's how we acknowledge those insecurities. It's how we take those insecurities, preserve them despite the fact that it is not giving us immediate results, or it's not instant gratification, but leverage our strengths that really defines us as leaders. Because it's very important. Only when we accept the things though they are and try to bring something on the table, that's a plus plus, because that's what makes people go further, and that's what makes people understand things in a much, much better way. Thank you very much. I think I'll leave the floor open, and I'm very much looking forward to the questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ruby Bakshi Khurdi, for your wonderful insight. And for me as a woman, this speech felt very important, and unfortunately don't have time for live questions, but there will be questions in the chat for you to answer.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.